Minecraft. What can be said about one of the most played games in history that hasn't already been said? An infinite world where blocks are the canvas, and the only limitation is our imagination. Minecraft is more than just a video game. It's a cultural phenomenon. However, within the vast tranquility of its pixelated landscapes and melodies, there's also room for something darker. Minecraft has become the perfect medium for many to unleash their own tales of horror, creating worlds that are not only unsettling, but, for some reason, feel alive. Artomek Dacha is a Russian channel dedicated to Minecraft, with only a handful of videos uploaded. Yet, several of them caught my attention because, unlike the rest, they seem to tell a rather bizarre story. This Minecraft ARG also incorporates elements of analog horror, so I hope you enjoy it. Before we dive in, I'd like to thank all of you for the amazing support on the previous video and everyone who responded to the pinned comments question. Remember, if you want to be featured in the next video, make sure to reply to the pinned comment, which includes the following question. What other Minecraft ARG would you like me to make a video about? Without further ado, don't forget to leave your precious like and subscribe to help the channel grow and reach more people. Every like is one more coin to escape poverty. If you're unsure what to comment, just type meow in the comment section and I'll send you a heart in return. Comments are incredibly important and help the video a lot, so don't forget to leave yours. Welcome to the disturbing experiment of Minecraft's villagers. The first video begins with the player greeting the audience. If we translate what he is saying, it's clear that this is someone testing seeds in Minecraft version 1.15.2. He mentioned finding a lot of interesting things. From there, the player sets off to find a tree to begin gathering resources. Out of nowhere, if you watch the video in full screen, a message appears on the side of the screen. Speedrun mistakes, accompanied by a counter that increases as the video progresses. While exploring, the player spots smoke from a campfire in the distance, which signals the presence of a village. He comments that he will head there to find the blacksmith's house, as it usually contains useful items. However, this village is far from ordinary. Here, we see some very strange villagers. They are taller than usual, appear 2D, and have expressions of suffering. The player continues exploring and comes across a small villager who, unlike the others, seems normal. As if that weren't odd enough, they also find a completely deformed cat. What's most striking is that the player acts as though everything is normal. When he attempts to enter the blacksmith's house, one of these peculiar villagers blocks the way. The player mentions that he can't get inside, and the video ends. By carefully analyzing the title and description, we can gather the following. Top 1 unsuccessful Minecraft speedrun. This speedrun was the most disastrous in my Minecraft career. I decided to post its record so that others would not repeat my mistakes. At first glance, it seems the player was attempting a speedrun. That's likely why he headed straight for the village, as blacksmith houses typically have valuable loot like iron or obsidian. However, he stumbled upon this bizarre village filled with strange and unsettling villagers, which ultimately derailed his plans. The big question remains: what happened in that place to mutate the villagers into such grotesque forms? In the second video, we see a blue screen as a world is generated in Minecraft version 1.15.2. Right at the start, a text appears on screen that reads, "Assimilation level, minimum." The player greets the audience and explains that he is in Sector 69 to investigate, as he was informed that the assimilation levels have dropped. In the background, we hear villagers and distorted game sounds. At this point, it becomes clear that numerous villages are being listed and assigned. The player mentions that night fell while he was working. On screen, a new text appears. Assimilation level DEF+. The player checks if the villagers are asleep and enters a house where we see the strange villagers, who, according to the player, appear to be asleep. The recording cuts and the text changes again. Assimilation level DEF++. The player says he will connect these entities to a system to generate energy for an experiment. He also mentioned hiding all the evidence so the experiment can continue. All of this is so unsettling. The on-screen text changes once more. Assimilation level EXT. The player approaches the village well and enters a hidden room where villagers are confined. He explains that it was challenging to lure the villagers to this location, where we see two of them connected to what looks like a screen. The player then opens a chest, revealing more villagers inside, and comments on using redstone to power the mechanism. The video cuts again, and when it resumes, an ultrasound image appears on the screen, accompanied by the text at the bottom. Get outside. The player mentions that the connected villagers are trying to communicate. Suddenly, something truly disturbing appears. A sonogram image of a baby with 3 eyes, accompanied by the text. He's trying to get out. The player ends the video by stating that the villagers' fetuses have managed to communicate. All of this is incredibly strange. If we translate the title and the description, it reads, "Where do villagers disappear to in Minecraft? How can you make villager babies talk in Minecraft?" I received a message saying that the village in Minecraft was experiencing a low level of assimilation. I came to check it out, but I never expected to see this. Based on what we've seen so far, it seems these villagers are assimilated villagers being used in an experiment to make their fetuses talk. Artomek appears to be directly involved in this experiment, yet the ultimate purpose behind all of this remains a profound mystery. In the next video, we see 2 villagers and a house before the following message appears on screen. I have been here for 4 days already. Do you think you can rid of us? Dad promised to pick us up. Where are you? The scene then cuts to a recording of someone walking through what seems to be a basement. Suddenly, they come across something on the floor that we can't see because it's censored. A message follows. It's been edited, but I have to show everyone what he did. Everyone needs to know why he made them stay indoors. Later, we witness a conversation between 2 villagers, a father and his son, Victor, referred to as the victim. Dad. What? I'm trapped in the basement. What? Help me. There is someone in the room. There is someone in the room. There is someone in the room. Dad?
Yes.
I'm trapped in the basement. Help me. Dad? Victor was assimilated. There is one victim left, hid in the cellar room. He waited a minute and tried to escape. Was found by Victor. What exactly did we just watch? This video delves deeper into the concept of the assimilated and reveals a grim story where a father and his son, Victor, both end up assimilated. Someone mentions there's one victim left, and another responds that they hid in the cellar room. They waited for a minute before attempting to escape, only to be found by Victor. What follows is a recording of this encounter. The person recording hides while we hear the footsteps of that thing approaching. The atmosphere grows darker and more oppressive until the screen fades completely to black, marking the end of the video. This video is the shortest of them all. It shows a player exploring a pitch-dark cave, cautiously moving forward. However, they suddenly stop upon encountering one of the assimilated villagers. The player seems startled, steps back, and the video abruptly ends. The description reads, My bad, that's not a villager. As mentioned, this is a very short video. Interestingly, this Minecraft session appears to be unrelated to everything we've seen so far, suggesting that whatever is happening here may have spread to other worlds. In the next video, we see the world selection screen. It shows a few worlds. One with a strange title, likely the result of mashing random keys, something many of us have done. A world titled New World, another named Real Victor is here, and a final one called Test 37. The player selects the first world, which loads into a skyblock map. Here, we see an assimilated villager standing alongside two regular villagers. A sign next to the assimilated villager, when translated from German, reads Father, while the sign near the normal villagers reads Farm. Next, the player enters a house with no floor and falls into the void below. The camera then pans back to the villagers, including a small one that also walks into the house and falls to its death. The description states, "Villagers are living in a pretty utopian world, but..." Each video becomes stranger than the last. Let's dive a bit deeper to see if we can shed some light on this bizarre story. Finally, we return to Artomek, picking up exactly where his last appearance left off. As we saw previously, he comments on how astonishing it is that the fetuses of the assimilated villagers can communicate. The footage abruptly cuts, and once again, the text assimilation level DEF++ appears. The player reaches a room, and we see in the chat that a generic entity has disconnected. He enters the room, seemingly searching for something. Suddenly, a scream is heard, and a dark-skinned entity appears. The player, terrified, attempts to hide. He peeks out, and the entity seems to have disappeared. But moments later, it re-emerges, crawling on the floor with a pulsating piece of flesh embedded in its torso. The player flees and manages to trap the entity. We then see him escaping from the area through the village well. However, if we translate the title, we discover that this village is different from the previous one. System 69 to 42. Village connection. How to abandon an inferior child in Minecraft. Consequences. After reaching the village in Sector 42, the player remarks that he will verify the number of inhabitants. Upon arriving, he observes that there appears to be no one. We hear him walking, his breathing slightly agitated, likely still scared. Suddenly, an assimilated villager appears, and a text on the screen indicates that the assimilation level is 0. The player comments that the assimilated villagers have realized he is responsible for what happened to them. Deciding to return to Sector 69, he descends into the well again, passing the room where the dark entity was trapped. However, the doors open, and the player assumes the entity has escaped. Despite this, he continues to the experiment rooms to retrieve a sample and escape. As he enters the experiment room, an alarm goes off. Several assimilated villagers appear, and the player seems visibly terrified. On the screen, an assimilated villager says, "The fruit is here. Why?" The player watches in horror as the captive villagers begin to change, turning reddish as if preparing to attack. Suddenly, a minecart appears, and after several cuts, we see the following. Victor, now fully assimilated, is trying to capture the player. Despite this, the player manages to board the minecart and seemingly escape. The video ends and the description reads, "I survived after the exit from Village 69 was blocked by real metal barricades. I discovered that the tunnels beneath the village lead to neighboring villages, but it takes a lot of effort to move further. So, I decided to return. It's not my fault that Victor suffered from the entity in his house. which appeared during a version transition. In fact, the village shouldn't even exist because the version is too old. But that didn't stop Victor from suffering. Victor blames me, so I don't want to see him. This video is deeply unsettling and reveals several key points. First, we now know that the villages are interconnected through underground tunnels where experiments are conducted. A new type of assimilation is introduced in the form of the dark-skinned entity, which suddenly appeared during a version transition. This entity was responsible for Victor's assimilation. It becomes clear that the assimilated villagers are aware the player is to blame for their plight, and they are now seeking to capture and kill him. Finally, Victor appears, harboring a desire for revenge against the player, as he seemingly suffered the most. From the title, we can infer that Victor may have had a disability, which led to his abandonment. Finally, we reach the last video. Here we see the same floating island from earlier. However, an eerie sound plays in the background. Deep, agonized wails, as if from someone in excruciating pain. The camera pans to reveal two villagers who are not yet fully assimilated, though their textures look odd. Perhaps they are mid-assimilation. These two are none other than Victor and Artomek. And then this happens. Assimilation completed. Victor will never be abandoned. A new father will not be able to betray. You were born here and you are glad. The video ends here, and when we look at the description, it reads, "Hello world, I'm a default Minecraft villager, and I live with my kid, Victor." Taking all of this into account, it becomes evident that Artomek failed to escape from Victor and was ultimately assimilated. What we witness in this video is his painful and agonizing transformation, a process that strips away his humanity and reshapes him into a new father for Victor. A crucial detail that solidifies this interpretation is the description of this final video. Previously, the descriptions contained relevant information added by Artomek himself. Now, however, the description reflects the perspective of a newly assimilated villager. This harrowing conclusion demonstrates the full extent of Victor's vengeance and the horrifying implications of the assimilation process. Artomek is no longer himself. He is now just another victim of this twisted, tragic cycle. Artomek paid for everything he did. This series seems to have come to an end, but there are still many unanswered questions. What is the true purpose behind this experiment? Why is there such an interest in the communication between the assimilated fetuses? And what is the real origin of that strange black entity? The floor is yours. Share your theories in the comments. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to support this one by liking it and sharing it with as many people as possible. Also, don't forget to follow me on my other social media platforms, where I post exclusive short content that you won't find on YouTube. And remember, you can now become a channel member. Just click the join button next to the subscribe button to enjoy tons of perks and exclusive emojis while supporting me. If you're interested, join in. I'll be eternally grateful. Oh, and keep in mind, this video was made by a cat, and cats can't talk. Thanks for watching, take care, and see you soon.